everybody. Good morning. Welcome. It's great to be back in the routine of morning devotions. Thank you to Ken, who recorded and presented the devotions in the 3 weeks I was off with Mariette. The Bible is a wonderful book. I did not take my normal Bible away. I decided I was going to take the Message, which is Eugene Peterson's particular version of it, and what a treat it was to go back to some of the old stories and learn again some of the basic truths. That's what the Bible's for, to teach us about God, yes, and about the Lord Jesus Christ, but to instruct us, to tell us how we should live. And I spent a couple of weeks looking at the life of David, you know, the famous King David. And in particular, his life before he became king. Now, David, as we know, was a shepherd looking after his father Jesse's flock. And there he learned how to be strong, how to be courageous. He learned how to trust God. He was an outstanding youngster, but not really noticed by anybody. And the king in those days was not David, he was too young. It was a guy called Saul, King Saul, talented young man who became king but kind of lost the plot somehow. And Samuel, who was God's representative, as it were, in the society of those days, is told by God, listen, I'm hugely disappointed in Saul, and now I have to start looking for somebody else who will replace him in due course. And then God says this, I'm looking for a man after my own heart. And of course, Samuel doesn't know who that person is yet, but God knows. A man after my own heart. I think of all the descriptions that I would like to apply to me and to all of us watching this devotion, it would be that you and I are men and women after God's own heart. Now, what do you suppose that means? A man, a woman after God's own heart. Well, when I think of that, I instinctively think of the book of Micah, the words that God spoke in the prophecy of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 8. Hear, O Israel, this is what the Lord requires, what the Lord asks of you and me. Now listen to this, because this is hugely important, that you and I, if we are true believers, if we are people who are men and women after God's own heart, that we should act justly, that's act fairly, love mercy, that's kindness to men and women, particularly those who perhaps feel that they don't deserve such mercy or kindness, to act justly and to love mercy and kindness and to walk humbly with God. David, who was eventually revealed as the man who was after God's own heart, has all of those qualities. Today, as you think about your life and what it is to be a follower of Jesus, ask God that He might give you a heart after His own heart, that your heartbeat and God's heartbeat may be one. God bless you.